10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Ms. Amina Nasir and Ms. Najia Amin.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Are we good to go? Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, all participants. Welcome to Extra Mile Education and Training. This special session is for kindergarten teachers. Hats off to kindergarten teachers because they are the backbone of any education. So thank you so much. Let's start here. Let me introduce the moderator today. Just a minute. Let me go.
Ms. Najia Amin, an educator with a decade of experience, specializes not only in academic development but also in psychology for holistic personal growth. She is the author of a pioneering phonics series, uniquely color-coded for effective learning. Hearty welcome to Extra Mile Education and Training. Please proceed. The stage is yours.
Thank you, sir, for that introduction.
Yeah. Okay.
A very good evening, everyone. Greetings from Extra Mile. Extra Mile is an exclusive platform created by the founder of BTAG, Dr. Abdul Salam, for providing online and offline trading. Having a pool of resource persons, Extra Mile is resourceful to provide on-site training on demand across India. Before we begin, I would like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Abdul Salam and Extra Mile Education and Training for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir. A hearty welcome to all our participants as we begin this session on the impact of NEP on early childhood education. The National Education Policy 2020 was released by the Indian government is set to transform the education system in the country with its emphasis on skill-based learning and holistic development. NEP aims to provide an exclusive and quality education to all the children starting from their early years. Preschool education begins the foundation of every child's learning journey. This plays a crucial role, and this brings us all together here today for a session. So before we begin today, there are few things I would like to brief all you participants with. Any query during the session can be conveyed through the chat box. Second, in order to have an interactive and fun session, all your doubts will be cleared. So kindly use the virtual hand raise button and you'll be called out for your query. All participants will have an opportunity to receive a certificate, which will be given only at the end of this session when they fill the feedback and certificate form. Kindly stay connected till the end of this session. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Dr. Abdul Salam. Dr. Salam is a CBSE resource person and a master trainer. He is the founder and CEO of BTAG and Extra Mile Education and Training. He has worked as the assessor of National Accreditation Board of Education and Training, Government of India. Sir, it is indeed a pleasure to have your gracious presence, and I would request you to take over the proceedings.
Yes, thank you, Najia ma'am. Good evening, everybody, once again. Well, we are here to discuss what NEP is focusing upon for early childhood and care. Especially when last week, when we conducted a session on lesson planning, advanced lesson planning based on NEP requirements. Many we are asking for the requirements of KG, kindergarten, and early childhood also, and especially lesson planning. It all depends upon the expectations. Our planning should reflect the expectations and requirements of NEP. That is why we are here once again with the requirements of NEP on early childhood care and education. So let's listen to Amina ma'am. Madam will be discussing in detail. Madam has been handling this pre-primary section for more than a decade, I believe. Yeah, and you can have lots of inputs today, and you can also interact with ma'am and take away a lot of things so that you can implement them in the classroom, and we will come to know the expectations of NEP on early childhood care and education. So let's listen to Amina ma'am. Enjoy the session. Thank you so much. Over to Najia ma'am. Thank you.
Participants, thank you, sir. Participant amidst us, we also have Mr. Biju S. Pillai.
Miss Najia, Biju S. Pillai didn't join. He's traveling. So you
Okay.
can skip and go to Amina ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. As we move to the highlight of our webinar, let me welcome you to the resource person for today, Miss Amina Nazir. She started her career as a teacher and now works as a section head in Oxford School, Kolar. With 14 years of experience in the field and a curriculum coordinator, she handles students and teachers enthusiastically following the EYFS system. She also takes phonics classes for students and teachers, along with conducting training sessions for teachers to build a good society, which reflects her commitment to fostering a supportive and enriching educational environment. Ma'am, it is indeed a pleasure to have your presence. Stage is all yours.
Good evening, everyone. Sir, can I start?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You have to
Yes.
speak
Good
a bit
evening.
louder.
Am I
I think.
audible?
Yeah, a bit
Good
louder.
evening. Thank you, Najia ma'am, for the wonderful introduction. Respected educators, good evening once again. And before we start off the session, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Salam sir and Pillai sir and the entire team of Bharat Sahodaya once again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you,
Not
sir.
Bharat Sahodaya, extra mile.
Extra mile, sorry, extra mile. Okay, so once again, thank you. And today's session, as what sir has said, it is going to be an interesting as well as interactive sessions. Okay, so hope it will be like, it is going to be a very interesting session for all of you. Today's topic quite interesting. We all know from last few months, nearly for a year ago, we have started this training of NEP. And this platform has given us continuous training for educators, teachers, and making us clear our doubts and became well equipped for a new start. I think we all have started this academic sessions 24-25. And even today's session is not going to be anything new, but you all know about it. Still, we are going to add on a few information, like few things which we are going to see today is going to be regarding NCF. So we have already started a session of 24-25, and no knowledge is going to be wasteful, right? The more we get, the more we are empowered. And it is going to definitely, our students are going to get benefited by this session. And we have our audience, I think we have to be very interactive so that even whatever I am sharing, and I'll make sure that it is going to be, you will definitely have good takeaways. So you can also please share your ideas and give any points you feel that could add on my piece of information. So can I share my screen?
Yes.
Amina ma'am, no problem. You can take 2 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Is it visible, ma'am, now?
Not yet, ma'am. Not yet.
Now?
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Thank you. One minute. Just a minute, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. Now, before we start, let us get familiarized with these terms. So now, dear audience, you can just post it in the chat box, the abbreviations of all these terms, so that it will be easy for us in our future slides. So can you please post what is the full form of ECC, NEP, FLN, NCFFS, Nippon, TLM? Yes, very good. National Education Policy, yes. Yes, early childhood. Yes. Yes, early childhood care, education, National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear educators, for your active participation. So, ECCE, Early Childhood Care and Education, National Education Policy, Foundation for Literacy and Numeracy, National Credit Framework for Foundational Stage, and then National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy, and Learning Method. Yes. Teachers learning. Okay. Now, and now you can see the picture over here. I would like to share your views and comment in the chat box what it really indicates or depicts. Your views, please. Strong roots, yes. Lalita Kumaraswamy, thank you, ma'am. Vishali, foundation is the base for everything. Base and depth. Root should be strong. Very good. Thank you. Keep knowledge. Deep knowledge, sorry. Strong base. Foundation is to be strong. Excellent. Yes. Excellent educators. Yes, thank you for your input. Your comments are duly noted. And it's really, the picture denotes, right? When we are having strong foundation or strong roots, only we will have strong trees, right? Same way, this foundation stage is very, very important. It is the base for all. And it is said that when we have a strong foundation, it is a superstructure, so that NCF, what is NEP 2020 is saying now is also the same thing. Early years foundation stage, we've been following years before, like we've been following years before. This is also connected with NEP 2020, where the foundation stage is very important for all the further stages. Okay. And now preschools have been enjoying their own strategies and freedom to teach for decades. But however, no framework was established for preschool until the National Education Policy 2020 had its impact on preschool. The NEP 2020 preschool was announced on July 29, 2020, which included a standard framework for curriculum of all preschools. Before we announced this policy, preschools were always neglected, right? That we all know. Before, we used to have only from grade 1. All the importance, if we say about education, KG is always neglected. And we can even see some of the, like, you know, some parents, even they'll try to take admissions only in grade 1, thinking that maybe KG is not that important. But now, NEP says that early childhood education, it has very much important that it's included in any education policy, and it is considered very significant. So NEP 2020 for preschool, now the coin has flipped the other side, having uniformity and structural framework throughout. Sorry. And today's highlights, yes, ma'am.
Amina, I'm sorry to interrupt. We do have Miss Indumati who wants to say something.
Yes,
I think it's based on the previous slide. If we can just see what she has to say.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Indumati, you can unmute and share your thoughts.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think there's no response. You can continue, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay, today's highlights will be what is NEP and what is NEP 2020 for preschool says, why NEP is important for kindergarten, the role of NEP in ECCE, early childhood care education in the foundations of learning. And I have added more, like sir, last week we've been Salam sir was handling about lesson plan. Maybe I won't be able to take deep into it, but still the routines which is happening in the kindergarten, we'll have a glance at it. So we'll be having meet and greet, circle time, and learning activities, assessment strategies, differentiation practices, and few teacher resources which will be helping you to, like, you know, you can implement, you can take those points from the resources and you can implement in the classes also. Okay. Now I would request, audience, by looking at the picture, I would request you to post comments, or you can say your views. I would like you also to share your views regarding this. You can unmute if anybody could like to speak about something. Is it possible for them to unmute, ma'am? Najia, ma'am?
They can raise their hands, we will unmute them.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyone would like to share?
Comments are there in the chat box. Najia ma'am can read out.
We have someone sharing active involvement, student-centered, need to write interactive learning.
Great. Okay. Thank you, audience. Like, see, I just wanted to show in this picture the changes which is taken place. This is the kindergarten, which was earlier. Kindergarten, in a sense, from grade 1 and 2, the foundation stage. Now it is like from play class till grade 1 and 2 is what we call as foundation stage. So the changes was Earlier, it was teacher talk dominates and no real reading by children. Mostly it was choral repetition. Writing is merely copying and no composing or creativity was there. But nowadays classes, the changes which have been taken is the children actively engaged. Even now we could see that even Anganwadis, they have started differentiated activities. They are giving more emphasis for the students to become more active learners. So now the change is like teachers use materials and they get opportunities to practice. Before it was like I do, we do, you do. What is I do? Like I do is when the teacher is teaching them, the teacher only does the activities or teaching takes place only one way. First, the teacher models the new learning through giving instructions. And then later we do. Once the teacher has demonstrated students, they can have a scaffolding and guidance. So along with them. Then at last what happens is it is you do. Finally, what we are making the students to be confident, learn from us, and then they are ready for independent learning. Now, I think NCF also focuses in the foundation stage that we have to make independent learners. We should be always facilitators. We just guide them. It has to be, it is not a teacher-oriented classes. It has to be student-oriented classes. So it is the responsibility of the teacher to make the students to be active learners. You know, they used to be only listeners, like, you know, listeners. They used to only listen and the opportunity was not given to them, but whether to share or once if the child is getting confident in the class, feels that, yes, I could share everything. I feel my teacher is the child's emotion that comfortable with the teacher. Only then the child will be able to express his or her feelings. And so suggested by NEP 2020, the new education system will follow this 5+, I think every one of us know, right? 5+3+3+4 education system, where the students will spend 5 years in strengthening their foundation. As we have already seen in the previous slide, the strong foundation. If the foundation is strong, nothing is going to be, we are not going to have a stronger education. So that is why the NEP in 5 years in strengthening their foundation, 3 years in the preparatory stages, 3 years in the middle stage, and rest 4 years in the secondary stage. The following allocations have come us with the introduction of NEP 2020. That is, the system 10+2 set up by NEP 1986 previously was replaced by 5+3+3+4. And we will be focusing only this 5 because the foundation stage, today's main agenda will be focusing for this foundation stage. The previous system started with grade 1 and never included children of preschool in the education system, which states that it wasn't considered necessary. So earlier when we were discussing, we saw that most of the kindergarten session, you know, it was like nurseries. From play class till KG1, KG2, they felt okay, they need not send to school. Because what they learn is only alphabets and numbers, where it is possible even for at home, they'll be able to train them. But it is not that. The NEP has flipped the coin, making important, emphasizing that from age 3, it is very important that the child starts the schooling. Gradually, we are not focusing only the academic part, but all the social, emotional part of the child. That we will be seeing in the future slides, that all the domains are covered. All the learning objectives, depending upon the competencies, must be achieved by the age when the child is entering grade 1. The foundational stage will be of 5 years for children aged 3 to 8 and catering for preschool classes, first and second. Besides the stage, will emphasize flexible, multi-level construction and pedagogy, early childhood care and education. So what do you think? Now, there is a question for my audience. What do you think is the proper age where the development has taken place? Can you please post me in the chat box? What do you think the right age, like all the development has done? The brain development. I want you to post in the chat box which age the brain has fully developed.
We have 5 years, 4 years, before 6.
Exactly.
Fully develop or 80%?
Brain development, sir.
Full development or 80% development?
No,
I can-
80 to 90%. It's not full development. I'm asking only 80 to 90. The most of the development have completed 80 to 90%. 80 to 90% or 95% of the brain development.
Can
for
I
the
answer
child's
the
cumulative brain-
psychology background? Is it 21 years? What is
It's
it?
not 21, only 10% is going for 21. That 90% will be completed before age 6. Very good. Congratulations. The audience, ma'am, I'm not able to read that name. Before the age of 6.
Most of them.
Yes, very good. Excellent. The child's cumulative brain development occurs prior at the age of 6. That means the kindergartners are having the main role in the education. Only the 10% we are giving to all the others. The basic has already framed. We have put cement, the foundation has put. So whatever molding, whatever changes you want to make is not going to happen any further. That has to be trained very well in case if you want to make it any further changes. So the age of child before 6, we have to make sure that all the domains are covered. Okay. And now the NEP 2020 for preschool aims at a lot of objectives for the better future of children. National educational policy is responsible for constructing a framework and a proper structure. So we will be seeing here, as per NEP 2020, in the early childhood education, that builds a sound base for children, which if not properly taken care, may damage or hamper their future education. It is necessary that NEP tries to frame it better for future. There should be a bridging between, that is this thing, there should be a bridging, like when the child finishes the kindergarten and goes to grade 1 and 2. Now we have that Balvatika 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 3, which we will be discussing later. And the bridging has to be done once the child finishes the kindergarten. And before grade 1, we have to make sure that all the learning outcomes, not objectives, I'm sorry, learning outcomes has been acquired and the gap is filled. And the NCF focuses on Panchakosha Vikas, 5-fold development. Already, I think our engineer ma'am in previous sessions, training sessions, she has already discussed about early years foundation stage. Like we have seven areas which has to be focused. And the same thing is being brought here, but it is in a, in a different way. The Indian vision of education that has been broad and deep, introducing the idea that education must foster both inner and internal development. Learning about the external world should be in consonance with learning about one's inner reality. The Panchakoshas, which emphasize the child is a whole being with Panchakoshas of 5 sheets. The layers are Annamaya Kosha, physical layer, Pranamaya Kosha, and then the Manonmaya Kosha, and then Vijnanamaya Kosha, intellectual layer, and Anandamaya Kosha, which is the inner self. And each layer exhibits certain distinct characteristics. The holistic development of the child has to take place in account the nurturing. Sorry. Okay, nurturing and nourishment of these 5 years. Okay, connected with that, we have already seen that 7 domains, there are specific and prime areas. Okay, the physical development, personal, emotional development, and the language, that forms a very important development or areas of focus. And then from there, we have the prime areas where we focus on the other domains. Okay, like, fine motor and gross motor, and then the spiritual, cognitive, all those comes from these domains. And early childhood education, the physical, and all the domains are interconnected. And NEP says that the competencies to be derived for all these domains, that we can see NCF in foundation, where everywhere it get times So whenever we get time, we have to make sure that NCF, that given for foundation, we have those teachers resources. I would request all our teachers to just go through, because it is more than 300 pages. It's not very easy to, I know it is because at the start you will be busy, but still make it important that page 235, which speaks about the learning outcomes, competencies, and how it is being mapped, how we have to bring into the curriculum. Everything is there in that NCF foundation, that which I'll be sharing the link in upcoming slides. So we have to make use of it. Curriculum and pedagogy framework for NCC, national curriculum for foundation stage, that also we'll be discussing. And now the role of understanding early years childhood care and education. It refers to the educational initiatives aimed at the children from 0 to 8 years, focusing on what we have already discussed, cognitive, emotional, social development. ECC programs that compass a variety of activities that create a nurturing and stimulating environment for young children, preparing them for the formal schooling. From here only, the formal schooling is created. It's not that only you finish your academic curriculum and okay, fine, the child is ready to start. No, we have that thought itself is wrong. It is not only that we have to focus in our curriculum. Now, already I think we have framed our syllabus, and we have made our monthly syllabus curriculum, but we have to make sure that NCF is making, emphasizing that we have to add all these content, and we have to show the development before the child enters grade 1. That is very important. And now we can see the key objectives of ECC in NEP 2020. And that is the school readiness. Early childhood care education program work to build children's readiness abilities to get them ready for formal schooling. It enables encouraging the development of early reading and numeracy abilities, cognitive capabilities, problem solving abilities, language development, and peer socialization. And already we saw that, like some of them, like most of the schools, the nursery schools, only it gives importance for play, but play is also very important. The children does all kind of learning only through play. They don't know whether they are learning, but automatically what happens when the children are playing, they are learning without knowing. Unknowingly they are learning. And then we have play and exploration. One of the main goals of ECCE is play-based learning. That we know now. We all the kindergartners, we know that when the child is very active, or if we want to make the child to learn something, we have to plan for activities. Like last time, the lesson plan which we've been discussing, there we have lot of criteria which says that, you know, differential learning has to be there. And when you put your learning outcomes, the previous knowledge, checking the child's previous knowledge, everything has to be added in your foundation level lesson plan also. It is very important, but only lesson plan will be taking lot of time. It has to be put, lot of input has to be put. So we will not go detailed in lesson plan, but still we will be covering all the areas which has to be done. And then diversity and inclusion. Early childhood care and education fosters cultures that embrace and value diversity. It encourages respect and equitable chances for all kids, regardless of their situation, background, or skills. ECC program aim to offer a welcoming, encouraging environment where each child's particular needs and abilities are acknowledged and supported. So that is what I was earlier saying. Whatever pedagogical strategies you're planning to use for your class to teach any specific topic, that has to be put into your lesson plan. Lesson plan is the base, or we can say that is the skeletal structure in your class. That is very, very important, my dear educators, because whatever you're planning to do, each minute simple thing, like, you know, I'll be discussing about the circle time, even meet and greet, circle time, everything, differential learning, and what are the differentiated, like, you know, differentiated learning takes place, that also has to come in your lesson plan. Kindergarten lesson plan is very, very important. And then engagement of parents. We know that kindergartners means we have to have a triangle form of relationship where students, teachers, and parents form a very important role. And that role is very important, and the community are to a child's development. It attempts to actively involve families, parents in their children's education by offering assistance, materials, and chances for cooperation. It also encourages collaboration with the larger community to advance kids' general development and well-being. And we have a lot of celebrations. We have to have in our kindergarten classes a lot of celebrations along with parents. They have to be part of this children's education. They have to be a part. It's not always, at least once in a month, like you have a reading week, upcoming reading week is there. We have already planned a program where the parents, the family members, the grandparents, you can have a get together with the students. They can narrate the story along with the grandparents. They can come like a mystery reader. We used to have a program called Mystery Reader. What happens is anyone from their family members, the child will not be knowing, but this encourages reading habits, as well as if it is a grandfather or grandmother, the grandparents comes and narrate the story as a surprise for the child. The child also joins along with them. It will really work out. Please do try out this this coming reading week. You can try plan a program like this, where you put your parent community as well as teachers together to have a very effective reading habit. And it has to the parents also will come to know, yes, the reading habit is very important, so that the students also, they will inculcate that habit of reading. Bedtime stories are very, very important to the kids. So, and that is what the emphasis on the thing. And then health and well-being. Early childhood care education improves young children physical health, dietary habits, and general well-being. It emphasizes creating a secure and healthy environment, ensuring that children have access to a balanced diet and good hygiene habit, as well as taking care of their physical and mental health. Even now, upcoming events are yoga days. I can tell you, just I'll share with you, even this yoga day, you have to give importance. The children should know what is yoga. Basically, small sections of yoga. It's not deep into it, but still this mental health, and even they can have a small mini gym in their schools, so that students can give physical importance to them. And PE. But children are not given separately physical education. Their learning is also along with physical education only. It happens along with their learning. Okay. And then ECC curriculum in NEP. ECC curriculum, the curriculum emphasizes the development of foundational stage and numeracy skills through age-appropriate activities, games, and storytelling. Earlier, we've been discussing all the Panchakoshas, right? And along with that, I said it is connected with all the areas. The 7 areas is language, understanding the world, communication and language and literacy, numeracy, and then personal, social, emotional development, physical development, art and craft. These are the main domains where we are focusing. Already, I think we all know about that, right? But each domain, it has to be interconnected or interlinked. When you're planning for your lesson, you have to plan that at least 3 or 4 domains you can connect. It is not necessary, or it is not always possible that you can connect with physical development, with literacy or numeracy. But at times, maximum, you have to see that all the 7 areas are connected. Okay, when you're teaching ABCD, or you're teaching, for example, you're teaching your knowledge and understanding of the world, body parts. Okay, for example, when you're teaching body parts, what will happen? The child should understand, okay, that is EVS part. When it is come for numeracy, what you can do, you can speak about, yes, I have 2 hands, I have 2 eyes, and I have many, some and many concept you can teach the children. The hair is countless, you cannot count it, right? And then you have fingers, 10 fingers, that numeracy also can be connected, right? Along with your knowledge and understanding. How you can connect with your literacy, the vocabulary improvement, the vocabularies which you bring. Yes, what are my internal body parts? Now see, educators, already our children know basic knowledge. They all have a basic knowledge. Yes, I have body parts. I have, these are my body. But now we have to go a little beyond and teach them what is our internal body parts, external body parts. They all know, even heart, they learn about kidneys. Even in KG2, I think from our schools and all, we used to go out of that, because now they are much more advanced than us. It's not, there's no point in just teaching 2 eyes, 2 hands. They know basic knowledge. They have already that knowledge. That plenary or previous knowledge is that they have that. But you have to go beyond of that and speak about the internal, external body parts. Okay. So you have to connect, try to connect the molding with the clay. So that comes under which part? Art and craft, right? You can connect with art and craft. So we will be discussing about the differential activities where we are planning in the classrooms that all the areas can be connected. It is not possible that because you will not have sufficient time to connect all the areas, but still the child should know what he or she is learning is applicable to her real life application. What I'm learning should not be nothing which connected. See, one child is learning about transportation. Why don't we teach them? You find the number plate. You just look into what is your papa's number plate number. Okay, that child will connect. Yes, this is my number. And alphabet is also there. That can be connected. So in real life application, you have to bring important. The child should know, yes, I'm learning about vegetables. I'm learning about fruits. What am I using these for? In real life application, you make 1 day snack time that is healthy habit, healthy food, that you bring some tomatoes or you bring cucumbers. So your snack will be planned in such a way. So you have to see that it is connected. All the domains, all the areas are to be connected. And the gross and fine motor also, it is self-help and then respect language, expressing language, cognitive and social emotional development. All those has to be connected. Okay. And now we are going to see like some of the daily routines. I can say some of the daily routines which happens in kindergarten. In our kindergarten from the morning, like we start from greetings. You know, this is a very effective way of welcoming our kids. Every day, the teacher will stand in front of the class, welcoming all the students. They will be having this chart. You can have this chart saying high five, fist bump, hug, handshake, say hello. They are given the choice that they can choose how you want to enter the classroom. Some of them, they need a hug. Emotionally, they will be from morning they'll be crying to the class. When they come to the class, they will be emotionally hurt. Or when they're coming from their parents, you know, sometimes the change mood swings are there for the kids. So when they come, this hug, really, I'll tell you, this hug will make them very comfortable and they will be settling in the class as faster than normal routine. So you can add on this meet and greet in the beginning itself. The teacher will stand outside and you will have to stick. You can see a black chart paper where you can stick all these things. If you want to add more, you can add. It depends upon, see how creative we kindergartners are, the teachers are, our kids are going to be very creative. Yes. Same way, if you want to add or if you can do the same thing, we can do like that. So in the line, some of them will go for fist bump, especially for boys. They'll be very much interested to give this fist bump, and girls especially, they'll feel that, okay, they want a hug, and some only handshake, and some they will say hello. Like if the mood is not there, they'll say, okay, hello, I don't want to hug, neither I don't want to hug, I don't want to say fist bump. So they will get into the, by saying the hello. Those, they are settling down. Gradually, they settle down in the morning. Okay, and then now we will be seeing the circle time. This is very, very important. You should not miss a day without circle time. Circle time is like it is an experience and gives chances for the students to share and motivate them to speak. To speak, teacher being a listener, and they become the self-learners, being a facilitator, just only prompt questions. Why? How? Circle time in a sense, see, when after meet and greet, what happens? All will come settle. You form it is not necessary that you have to form a circle time. It's not necessary that you have to be in the mat. You have to have together time along with the students. So once they get an insight, what you have to have interactive sessions. But please make sure that the teacher's talk is reduced. You just prompt questions, because we know that kindergartners, if you are not going to say, they will not come out. So you can say, okay, why? How? What is the climate? What is the weather today? What is the date today? Okay, which are the days of the week? You can just say, okay, we will start with the days of the week. We can, with the using of like, we can use a lot of properties in the circle time, but you should not even make it very long, because the students, they will become bored up. So your circle time also should not be, it is only prompt questions you have to give, and the students will come out with their own ideas, creativity. Beginning, they may not speak, but later they will start to speak. Need to train and provide chance to them, chance to each and every child. Shake hands along with them, and then you can even sing songs, like, in the circle time. See, now I have made a simple finger puppet. I thought, okay, I'll share with you. We're planning to make a simple, like, nothing, no costly resources, nothing. If you have a color paper, or if you have a paper, what we can do is we can make finger puppets, or if we have socks, we can make puppets. I think Ranjini ma'am has already given us a lot of inputs to make properties or resources in the classes. So today, like, I'll just share with you how we make. See, these are the different kinds of papers. These are color papers. You can have yellow, and you can have this white chart papers. You can cut it into circle, and then see, I have made these, see, animals, finger puppets. We have to cut it into pieces, 2 pieces. See, we can cut that circle into half piece. We can make 2 finger puppets. And what we can do is we have to roll this. Okay, very simple. It is very simple. You need not, it doesn't take your time. Like Saturdays, if it's not working, you can sit and make your finger puppets or whatever resources which is needed for your future classes on Saturdays and keep. So this is like, you have to cut it into 2 pieces. You will have 2 finger puppets to be made from this. And we have to draw these. You can see, if it is a tiger, you have to draw. Very simple it is. You can cut out the face mask, or if it is a panda, what you can do is you cut out all the panda picture, and just from this circle, I have made these finger puppets. I'll just show it to you. Is it visible? I think it's not visible. Is it visible? Can you see? No?
Yes, ma'am. Just keep it right in front of your face.
This side? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see? See, I have already made this. It is very simple. You can take a full complete circle, make it into 2 pieces, and then your just draw the face mask of all these animals. If it is animals, if it is okay, or if you want any family members, you can make like that father, mother, grandparents, and the child. And then in the circle time, what you have to see is you can sing along with that. See, when the students are seeing all this, they are getting attracted. They will sit. If you're just coming and simply sitting and talking, what they will see, they will just listen. At least some, we have different types of learners. That is what I told I'll be discussing that in the later part of my slides. So they are like audio visual learners, kinesthetic learners. Some, they don't want to hear to the teacher, but they want to see the videos. That when we come with some different things every day, they will be very much interested. You did not make the child to sit. The child will sit automatically and listen. See? And you can also sing. Today, my topic is going to be animal world. So I'm going to sing about, I will have this. I will not say which topic I'm going to take. I will come and sing. Good morning, how are you today? Very well, and thank you. Have a nice day. I didn't say I didn't say I'm going to teach about animals. So my fingers I had, okay, they'll be very curious. Already they'll come with their own, comment. Yes, this is ma'am, this is a panda, this is tiger, and see, this is a rabbit, bunny, how it is. This is very small, this is very big. That interactive sessions, and all the students, they will give their own views to us. From there, we have to catch hold of the topic, the learning objective, and then we switch on to the our main theme. Is that clear? So the circle time is the place where you have to launch to your theme. What is your theme? That you have to start from the circle time. And not only this, you can have your own mask. If you're not having any resources, you can have your video play, and just listen to that. And you can just ask the child to observe it very keenly, and then you prompt your brainstorming questions. brainstorming is very important in circle time. You give space for the child to think. You give space for them to answer. You give the confident, you have to increase their confidence level. Yes, I can speak anything to my teacher. I can say anything, feel free, even if it is wrong. We are not going to correct them. We are going to teach from the mistakes, whatever the child is saying. Yes. And so that the circle time also forms a very important thing. And then even I told you the circle time should be very, it should not be very prolonged. You should not be very, you don't make it very boring. And then the good morning song, that is for maybe 2 minutes you can have. Then the picture schedule review, not more than 2 minutes you should have. If you're having a story, you can have for 5 to 7 minutes, very short. And then if you're going for a story, like, you know, you will have the topic launch. We say as a topic launch. For example, today for KG1, we are going to take Dippy Duck, for example. So you can show the story of Dippy Duck, and then you can come to the topic. Yes, Dippy Duck. Dippy Duck is yellow. Dippy Duck, here is, and there is a song for letter and stories. Annie Apple, she says, ah. She says, those songs, when you sing along with the visual input, you are teaching the child. Then later you can come for writing or any activities to be given. And then from there, you can give the assessment. Yes. And now we'll go to the differentiated in kindergarten. By looking at the picture, we can see, yes, I like fish, I like grass. So I like to watch video. I like to sing, or I want to sleep. Yes, I want to sleep on the mat. Leave them to sleep. No problem. Let them sleep and come back to us. Don't give them deep sleep, but you have to wake them up. But I'm telling, when the child is tired, because sometimes what happens when the class is going on, I can see that the child is sleeping on the mat. So when I come and ask the teacher what happened, she's very tired or she's not feeling well. Yes, fine, it's okay. You don't wake up the child, you don't disturb the child and do it. So this differentiated kindergarten learning is students enter their classroom with their own unique experiences that we have already seen. They have their own learning needs. They have their own learning pace. So when differentiated learning approach ensures that they are learning through different medias, that also you have to focus in the lesson plan. They are teaching their high potential. The teacher teaches, for example, like when you're giving assessment sheets, like, you know, worksheets or assessment paper, some of them they will like to, especially the higher achievers. We say the higher achievers, they don't want any support from the teachers. Whenever it is given, they may write. Some of the students, they will not write, they will keep it like that. Instead of that, what you can do, you can like, you know, you can give them some materials to play, and like number models you have, you can give 5 plus 3, you give the models and make them to do. Okay, those kind of areas we have to specifically mention, where we have to mention in our lesson plan that for 25 students are there, 25 students will have different pace of learning. Okay, so the teacher is coming to the class. No, I will be teaching only A to Z by showing this and I'm giving the worksheets. It will not work out. So we have to identify. See, this is the starting of the year. That is why in the beginning itself, I was just saying that we have started our session. We have to do the baseline or the diagnostic, we say, or the baseline assessment, where you have to find out the child for KG2, what is the knowledge, like base knowledge the child is having, so that the next teacher, she can start from there. She has to know my 25 students, now Hamdan is there, Ahadia is there, or Ram is there, whoever it is there, he needs so and so. He's already knowing these, my learning outcomes or whatever I'm planning, like, you know, the previous knowledge the child is already having. Based upon that, when you give the baseline test, you will understand. You have to keep this document baseline test. You will understand where the child is and plan for your lesson. So once you're planning, you need not waste time on the higher achievers. You can give extra level for the higher achievers. See, when the lower achievers, they definitely need support from the teachers, right? We know that they need support again and again, like they may not learn from writing or reading. We have to reduce these kind of writing and reading. Once a child knows the formation, need not make them to write D or K, at, cat, Already the child knows with the phonics how to start the starting letter and blend and segment the word and get the words done. The child knows to blend. The child knows the formation. Then why again sometimes we can see that they will be writing like it is a punishment for the student to give a writing. Instead of that, what we can do, the child has not cat. With the sight words, what we can do, we can make them to make short sentences, frame their own sentences, make the creativity like cat. Okay, with cat, the cat is sitting on the mat. You can make the child to learn from short sentences like that. Okay, don't waste your time on that. And differentiated instructions, why it is important is, it is the process of tailoring lessons to meet each student's individual interest. Teaching this way gives students choice and flexibility in how they learn and help teachers personalize learning. This method also requires instructional clarity and clearly defined goals for learning, better enabling students to meet those goals. The goal of differentiated instruction is make certain that everyone grows in all key skills and knowing areas, encouraging students to move from their starting point and to become more independent learners. That is what I was discussing about the baseline test. And then differentiated classrooms, the teacher closely assesses and monitors the skill, knowledge level, interest to determine effective way for all students to learn. The teacher's lesson plan is drawn up, those various skills, levels, and interest in mind. Differentiated lesson reflects the teacher's best understanding of what will best help the child to grow in understanding the skill at a given moment. That is what I was discussing about. And the understanding evolves as the course continues, as the child develops, and as parents contribute to teachers' understanding. See, we should not send any homework to parents. See, homework is strictly avoided in lower classes. And but in case if we want to give them part like for formation and all, if you want give them, we can give them some drawing, like from we can use like drawing or for simple formations with the drawing crayons or drawing the snake. Those kind of formations can be given, but still some of them they need formation writing within the 4 lines. Yes, definitely we have to give, but see that the fine motor development is happened. Otherwise the child is going to find it very difficult. The child will not do it. Okay. And when parents come to school and talk about their children, they share their perspective with the teacher. The teacher view the student more broadly, specifically in relation to students of the same age and light of developmental benchmarks. The parent, on the other hand, has a deeper sense of students. And what is different between assessment and evaluation also we will be seeing here. And see, these are the differentiated learning activities which we used to give our classes. They will be given in the morning. After the circle time, we will plan that each activity is given to them. Individual or group activity also will be given. Group activities, they have to come up with like, peer learning. They will be discussing with their peers and they will find out the answers from them, and they will discuss. And even the lower achievers, they may not have need not have support from the teacher. These higher achievers also will be helping the lower achievers, the student who really needs support. So, and basically resources or teaching learning materials are really very important in your classes. At least a paper, or you should have basically even at least from papers you can make, means if you're not getting very costly materials or resources, but at least something you should have, educators, you should have in your classes, that you have to group them, you have to basically group them, the students. We have each table will be having different tables for them, and that table the teacher will be knowing the seating arrangements will be already made. So if it is 4 tables, 5 tables, the teacher will already plan the activities for table, red table, yellow table, and blue table, and all the resources must be ready before the children are getting into the class. You should not go and search for the materials once the children are sitting there. Your plan should be very clear. That is what I told you. I'm again and again saying in this session, even though I'm discussing about NCF national foundation stage, but very important is the lesson plan which you're going to carry to your classes, which will be showing that what you have planned and whether your plan has worked out on that day or not. If your plan is not, that is what we are going to discuss about assessment and evaluation. Maybe not deep, but I'll be just giving you a brief thing about assessment and evaluation, and whether my planning or the teacher's planning have worked out or not. Okay. See, they enjoy, they are very happy that they are making their own products. This is grade 1. The child is making a clock. When they have teaching time, the child makes, we give all the materials which is necessary. They will create their own timing and they will discuss with the teachers. And now assessment in kindergarten, we all know that usually what happens, assessment, yes, you give dictation, you give 10 out of 10 marks for the child. Yes, pass, 9 marks out of 10, very happy. Assessment is nothing to do with your academic scoring or marks. We have to be very careful that assessment is not happening based upon the academic knowledge of the child. It has to be a continuous process. Once you start from the morning, the teacher should know, yes, the child is following through the process. It should be day-wise, it should be weekly, it should be monthly. It should be weekly and it should be monthly that the assessment is taking, that is formative assessment. Until grade 2, the NCF is strongly saying there should not be any exam-oriented or mark-oriented for foundation stage. It will be only based upon your learning outcomes. So how you plan your learning outcomes and how you are going to do your assessment, and there are different types of assessment which you can be doing. Formative assessments, which is happening in the class. What are the different types of assessments? We will see. First, we have, first is anecdotal record. We all know, right? What is anecdotal record? What is it? We are going to observe the child, and the anecdotal record is an attempt that the record detail, it speaks about the specific episode of every child, particular interest or concept when a specific event catches, this is 1 minute. Yes, concern when a specific event catches the attention of the teacher, they can write a narrative account of the events as soon as possible. An anecdotal record is an observation of what children say and do while they are engaged in a particular activity. Yes, we all know. See, whatever happens in a sense, you should be very careful when you're taking even outside the class. You should know that you should know that, see, the child, whether the child is playing, if the child is not playing, something is wrong with the child, some emotional imbalance is there, everything, whether from the beginning, you should note the various emotions of the child. You have to document it. You have to record it. It is very important that you have to record the documents. Okay. Second slide. Okay. Then next is checklist. Checklist is nothing but the topic which we have planned. We will be having all the rubrics for it. That rubrics will be connected to your learning. For example, what now we are teaching about the child's alphabets, for example, A, E, O. So the child, whether the child is able to get the formation, the phonic sound, whether the child is able to sing the rhyme related to it, everything you have to document in the checklist. So the checklist is a tool for identifying and recording whether a child has accomplished a listed learning outcome. It usually offers a yes or no format in relation to the child's demonstration. Okay, so the checklist also is important along with, sorry.
Amina ma'am, the checklist is not so clear. Is it because of my system or your slide?
No, sir. Actually, this is from NCF I have taken. Checklist is, see, sir, all the necessary documents are there. That is what I told, that all the necessary documents are there in that, what to say, NCF foundation stage.
Okay,
they can collect it from there. All the learning outcome is given, all the learning, what to say, competency, everything, they can take it from there. And they can use it as per their, like what is necessary for their school, their kids. So this is like you have it in the NCF teaching resource, teacher resource. Okay, and then these are the, say, rating scales. We have, again, rating scale is like, you know, we have smileys. The first smiley, where the child will not be able to understand the topic which we have taken. And I will show you one exit card also. When the class is taken, we have exit cards and entry cards. Like, you can see this. Is it visible? Can you see this?
Najia ma'am, it is to you.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes,
Yes.
it's visible now.
Yeah, in front of you, ma'am. Just if you can keep it in front
See,
of
this
you.
is the exit card. We can say with the ice cream stick. We use it in our schools. Like the child, we have the emojis. You have a smiling face, you have a sad face, and once you finished your classes, the children, all the 33 children or 35 children will be having their exit card. This will be given to them in all the classes. So it is very simple. You can just see this. It is very simple, made out of ice cream stick and a color paper. Nothing much. You have to give this to a child. Once you finish this chapter, this is a very simple exit card. Yes, whether I have understood, the child will show happy face. Yes, ma'am, I'm already done with my thing. I know. And some children, they will show, no, I'm very sad. I did not understand the concept. So what the teacher has to do, yes, the child has not understood. You have to note it down. Then you have to, maybe you will not be able to give that time itself. It is not possible, right? Along when you're taking the class, it's not possible that you can give the supportive there. You have to plan for your supportive class later. So these are you can use it as exit card also. These are the emojis, and the rating scale is also connected with the learning outcome. You can give, you do the learning outcome and you have to connect it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is not marks. The educators 1, 2, 3, 4 is not mark. It is just only the rating scale which is showing. Okay, 1, the child has started knowing it, or I'm starting to understand the concept. Third is like I fully understood the concept, and then fourth is I'm little bit teach or get set. So this is the rating scale which you can use for your assessment part. There are lot of it is a systematic way. Like you have to do assessment itself is a whole process where again holistic report card is available. My dear educators, please go through that holistic report card. All the pages are very important. You will get a lot of ideas how to prepare your holistic report card for education, like foundation stage. For KG1, KG2, already we are doing it. For grade 1 and 2 also, it is asked to follow this holistic report card. Okay. And then, yeah, this is sample collected evidences. You can have lot of pictures. You can, it is not allowed to use your mobiles, but still, if you have cameras or whatever it is, when the students are doing their activities, you can give a clip and you can add on to the child's portfolio. Portfolio is also very important. Anecdotal, checklist, portfolio, the evidences of videos and photos, what the child is doing. See, the children are doing their own thing and they are very much happy about it. And some children are able to do, some children are not able to do. Which level is the child? Everything you have to plan. Only then you can take them, whether you will understand whether my child, that student has acquired the learning outcome, whether I have to plan something else for that child and help that child. You can do only through assessment and evaluation, right? And yes, now, these are few things which I just wanted to share with you. Even though you might have come across this, you have learning outcomes at elementary stage, and the link is also I have shared with you. If you don't have, please, you can, maybe I can post it in the chat box. And then you have a national curriculum framework, especially for foundation stage. You please see that national curriculum framework, you take up only for foundation stage, and there are 364 pages. Please, if possible, go through it. You have there the domains. Under the domain, I don't know whether I have shared that picture also. No, I have not checked it. Okay, that domains are there. Under that domains, the curriculum goals are there. Under that curriculum goals, where it is connected or it is mapped with the competency and it is connected with the learning outcome. It is not a simple process. So please go through that books. It will be very useful. And then you have your Nipun, what we have already seen, the preschool curriculum along with the timetable, circle time, everything. See, these knowledge which I'm sharing is nothing which nothing which is from my part. We have to go through from here. Everything is, I've shared it from here only. Even most of the slides, the screenshot I have taken taken from here. So please go through the preschool curriculum. It's not very easy because lot is there. See, I have taken the printout and I have kept it so that whenever I get time, so that we can go through it. But it is very useful, my dear teachers, my dear educators. It is very useful and it gives us a lot of idea what and how to be done in the classes. All the circle time is also given for you. The activity pedagogical strategies are given to you, so that not necessary, if you have your own idea, that also you can implement in your classes. It's not that you have to take, they are giving us the idea how to input. So if we get a spark from there, we can just make our own curriculum framework. It's very simple. And then now the teacher's role, we know now it is very important. I think I have covered about all the assessment and evaluation. And the NEP 2020 emphasizes the role of well-trained and motivated teachers and caregivers in ECC. They play a very crucial role in facilitating children's learning, providing a safe and nurturing environment, and fostering positive relationships. Teachers are encouraged to adopt a child-centric approach, catering individual needs and interests, and creating engaging learning experiences. Even though it is given very short, this is not very short. We educators or we caregivers or we practitioners have a major role to mold these kids. You know, they come to us, the parents send their kids to us, and whether they are getting benefited, it is not that they are paid and we are teaching them. It's not that, but the skill, what to say, it is what we are teaching, maybe only numbers and that, but hereafter we have to see that all the domains are covered. We are planning for all the domains, and you have to give a structural classes for the students. You have to have a proper planning. That is investment. You know, it is the investment in early childhood education, in similar to the investment in the future of the country. NEP 2020 for preschool ensures that the quality education is provided to all the students, including underprivileged as well. And then only the policy will be implemented to its fullest use and will flourish. So you have to go through all this. You know, we have and I forgot to add on this Balvatika 1, 2, 3, even that is also shared in our, it is given in the NCERT site. Please, you also can download and you can have it in your mobile phone also to read. And Balvatika, that learning gap which has to be made for the grade 1 level, it is very well explained in Balvatika 1, 2, and 3. So please make use of it. I think, yes, so the NEP aims to transform the education system in India, focusing on holistic development and early childhood education. It emphasizes the importance of foundational literacy and numeracy in preschool education, setting new standards for quality access. Even though it is speaking about literacy and numeracy, it is not standing within literacy and numeracy. It goes beyond in a sense. All the aspects of the child's emotion or skill must be focused. This is like we are starting, and let us not, like, you don't get worried about how we will be implementing everything at a stretch. No, gradually we'll give a start. It is not easy. It is not so easy that you put everything at a time, like, you know, you have to serve. You know, Sadhya, it is a traditional food in Kerala. So that is why I have put this slide and added this image, because Sadhya will be served step by step. You put first rice, and then you put your curry, and then you have all those kutu, we'll say, that you have to enjoy the meal. So if education has to be enjoyed, it has to be served correctly, proper time, limitedly. And by hearing all this, you will be, means if you know it, if you're on the stretch, no problem. But still, if you are not started it, gradually, please do start. And you can start implementing little by little in your classes. So that don't get confused. Don't put all the things together. You start with your routine class, and then assessment structure, you gradually include it. You first take out all the checklist, what are the learning outcomes needed, and learning outcomes, how you're going to, you know, you have to make it as a checklist, how you're going to give the tick, that has to be documented. Every month the child will be documented, the objective, you have to keep it in the portfolio. Every 24 student must have a portfolio, so that any art and craft work, any work of the child, any assessment which the child has done, anything related to the child, even anecdotal, because once you have your student open house interaction with the parent, you must give clear picture of the child's improvement or development. That is 100%. It is very, very important. Because the parent as well as the teacher also should know. You make sure that the parent and teacher rapport is like that, so that they also have to share. And especially SEN, I have forgot to add that SEN, special educational need, it is very important in our schools. If you have special educators, they will be helping you to map this curriculum along with them, because, you know, when the special students are there, they must be like, you cannot plan. If you are well versed, it is fine. If those who don't have the basic knowledge, we won't be able to help the special like, you know, the students with determination, or students which they need support, we cannot help them. So what we have to do, we have to align along with the parent as well as the special educators, so that you form a because they won't be able to follow all these learning outcomes with along with the other students. You have to specially make a plan for them, whether which wavelength they belong to, because there are a lot of rubrics and criteria. Once the child comes to your, see, most of the time our students are with us from morning till evening. They are with us, not with the parents. So we will be able to know what and how, what is the problem the child is facing. That you should definitely discuss with the parents and find out a solution for it before the child goes to the next stages. And when next stage is itself, maybe with along the other children, the child will not be able to get along with the child. But what will happen is you can plan a separate plan for them. Okay, so the NEP has the potential to positively impact preschool education by promoting holistic development. My dear educators, holistic development is from KG, the foundation stage. 360-degree is very important. That is what is speaking about holistic development. Holistic development means the 360-degree where you have to follow for the NCF, development and quality learning experiences. However, successful implementation requires sustained investment and collaborative efforts from all stakeholders. I think that's with that. I have covered.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing such valuable information and important factors from the NEP for early childhood education. However, we do have few question and answers. First, they would like to know about the homework for upper kindergarten. And also, what do you tell parents who want homework? Like when we say no, we are catering to all of it, but there is that parent group which will want homework.
Yes. 1 second. See, homework, we should avoid that word homework for foundation. Let us forget that homework. We are not going to use that word. We will say practice work. That is for us. Even though it is homework, we are saying you just say practice work, because we know that all the students are definitely like, we can support at a certain level. We need the support of the parents. You have to, that is what this parent-teacher meeting is very important, my dear teachers. I have told you, you have to communicate with the parents. Communication is very important, because whatever happens in the class, you have to share with them. So you have to just, you don't say that it is a homework. The child needs little bit of support for writing. We can give writing, but don't give too much of writing. Practice work can be given, but in an interesting way. Why not in an interesting way? There are a lot of available worksheets. Actually, I wanted to share with you this online live worksheets, but unfortunately, there's little more time. Maybe next time we'll see that, because online interactive worksheets, you just send it home. The link can be posted to the parents. They will sit and, parent and child will sit and they will start doing it. It will not be like homework. It will not be a burden to them. They will unknowingly, they will learn. But in the open parent orientation, you must educate the parent that there will not be homework, but your support is 100% necessary for a proper development and improvement of the child. You can.
Miss Amina, you are sending this practice work home only, no?
Yes, sir. We will send practice work home. Not all
So
the
it
practice
becomes
work.
homework.
Sir?
So it becomes homework, no?
No, actually, see, homework in a sense, the children don't like to write. That is the important thing, right? The homework can be in any way. As I earlier told, the practice work can be in any way. You can have online interactive sessions, or you can have it type
Anyway, we must understand that government has, discouraged homework for up to grade 2 students.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Learning should take place only in school.
Yes.
Not at home.
Yes.
Okay.
It is not, we will not give them any notebooks and all, will not give, but these works can be sent, no, sir. Online.
Guidance can be sent.
Yes, guidance can be sent. You're not asking them to sit and write and learn and come. Nothing will do. Every learning thing should happen in the school itself. The teacher should take initiative to finish it there. But you can guide them or send them such kind of work which makes them to add on to it. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. We have another question. How do we deal with hyperactive students?
Yes.
Miss Amina?
I think her screen is frozen.
Frozen. Hello. Hyperactive children, because they become hyperactive just because they want to be engaged. We have to keep them engaged through activities, and they have to, sometimes they want attention also, attention seekers.
Yes,
So we
attention.
have to give them responsibilities.
Mm.
That is what we
Hyperactive,
do.
sir, even hyperactive, definitely all the schools should have special educators or people who need to help, because teachers, I think everybody doesn't have that, to support the. So it has to be very well planned. That is beginning of the year itself, I told we have to see that which wavelength the child falls, everything has to be done. But basically the teacher is also a counselor. She is multi-talented, basically they should understand that some changes are there, right? In a class, the teacher will find, okay, these children, this child is totally different from the other child. What makes it different from the other child? So she can have a follow-up and take support from them.
Thank you, ma'am. So we had 2 question and answers, and they also want to know, will the links for the booklet be shared?
Definitely, definitely. I'll share it, sir. All the links which is connected with the foundation stage, I'll share it in the chat box, or I'll share it with sir. All the documents, maybe PDF, I'll share it with you all the Balvatika, Nippon, and Unmukh is also there. Unmukh is a bridging gap PDF where the grade 1 level teachers can please go through it. See, grade 1, now you can go through this Unmukh. That is very important. Beginning, you please take note that in the beginning itself, you go through those things, will be very helpful for bridging. Now it's a time for the students for a bridging session. They have come from KG to grade 1. That is a transition period. It will be very difficult for the teachers as well as for the students. It will take time for settling. 3 months, it is compulsory that you have to make sure that the bridging is done. It is compulsory. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, this one's for you. Someone's saying they're not able to pay the fee through the scanner.
I will do one thing. I will display this QR code on the screen.
Okay, Miss Aarti, hope that will be helpful for you. Moving on, Miss Amina, we have one last question. Could you please brief us about the Jadui Pitara that is from the Bal Vatika?
Pardon, ma'am? Be loudly.
Can you brief us about the Jadui Pitara, which is a part of Bal Vatika?
See, Balvatika is Balvatika 1, 2, and 3 speaks about this Jadui comes in, I think, in Balvatika 3, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm also in the process of going through it. I just went through Balvatika 1 and 2, and this Jadui Pitara is like a magical thing that emphasize that also becomes for the bridging, I think, ma'am. I'm very not sure. Maybe I'll post it, that Balvatika 3. That is Jadui Pitara speaks about the bridging in magical ways. That is what it says about Balvatika 1, 2, and 3. In third Balvatika, it says about that.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sir, shall we close? Shall I do the closing? Okay, everyone, you all can find the scanner shared. Moving ahead, I would like to extend our gratitude and appreciation to Miss Amina Nazir for enlightening us with so many important points, talking about the 7 domains, how do we bridge between the kindergarten to grade 1, and all the NEP pointers, which I'm sure all our participants can use it in their school with confidence and guide our young leaders to reap maximum benefit out of it.
And thank you, Najia ma'am. Maybe in the beginning, I was a little bit my screen was unable to share. But later on, I hope I did justice to your time, your valuable time. Hope that I have covered. And please, if you have any doubts, feel free to discuss with us. And whatever possible resources, I will definitely share with Salam sir. And yes, thank you, Najia ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amina ma'am. And dear participants, kindly note the link for certificate and the feedback form has been shared already. You are requested to fill it up and with the necessary details. Moving on, thank you Extra Mile Education Training, especially Abdul Salam sir, for your boundless support and guidance. Thank you for this opportunity. I would like to thank each and every one of our participants who have been the life of a session. And Amina ma'am, in the chat box, you'll know how everyone loved today's session. Everyone were happy and we got to learn so much with
Thank
this
you so much.
session.
Even though I got a little bit of a starting trouble, later I got, and thank you, Salam sir. I should really thank you from my bottom of my heart, because even last moment I was just calling sir to get connected with. Thank you so much. Thank you, dear participants, for your active participation, and hopefully we together we can make lot of changes. And please, the main responsibility is given to us. Please make use of it. Thank you.
I'd like to ask Salam sir to conclude the meeting. We shall meet you all in our next engaging session with another distinguished resource. Thank you, everyone. May you all continue to be happy and wise.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Najia, for the nice work. Your help is so great. And it has helped Amina ma'am as well. Amina
Yes,
ma'am,
yes.
congratulations
Thank you,
for the
sir.
nice presentation. A lot of informations, a lot of information was available, and you have presented them very well. And some of the best practices from your school, I believe, were very effective, so that
Yes, actually,
participants
sir,
can
I have
take and
added on all my pics from my school so that
for your school. Yeah, okay,
yes,
okay.
thank
So
you.
those best practices can be adapted
Yes,
by the participants for the betterment of their kindergarten curriculum transaction. So thank you so much, all the participants, all educators. Hope we have done justice to your expectations. And the topic is so vast, but Amina ma'am has covered it in a very nice way. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And keep connected. We are always at your service. And I could see a lot of participants on their camera eagerly, writing notes and all. Definitely, it is going to, be beneficial to their classroom transaction. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Najia ma'am, once again, Amina ma'am.
thank you,
We
are
sir.
winding
Thank you,
up.
Nadia
Yeah.
ma'am. Thank you,
You're
audience.
most
Thank you.
welcome, ma'am. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.